Good evening, Blast fans, and welcome to the Baltimore Arena for Game 2 of the MISL semifinal series between the visiting Syracuse Silver Knights and your Baltimore Blast. Hands right now, check out Blast Vision for the season final regulars MISL standings presented by Care First. Now let's look at tonight's players to watch presented by PressBox. It's now time for the MedStar Sports Medicine Injury Report, and it lists the following player injuries for tonight's game.
Did you know that dancing can do wonders for your health? It's been proven to reduce stress, strengthen your heart and lungs, and actually improve bone density. Tests show it can even improve brain activity. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we give you even more to dance about. More choices, more experience, more doctors. So if you know what's good for you, keep dancing. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. More to feel good about.
Too much to do and too little time? Now you can bank when it's convenient for you. With free online banking and free mobile banking from First Mariner. Check your balance, deposit checks, pay bills with online bill pay, and pay people with Pop Money. And manage all of your finances with Mariner 360. You'll save time and money because at First Mariner, online banking and mobile banking are free. It's like adding a 25th hour to your day. Courtesy of First Mariner, Baltimore's community bank.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company, formerly IWIF. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for nearly 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Baseball and my family seem to go hand in hand, seem natural. It seems to be built into everything I do. I'm hardwired into MedStar Sports Medicine the same way. I pick up the phone, I call them, I go. They're the sports medicine experts. I trust them.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Baltimore Arena. How's everybody feeling tonight? Baltimore Blast playoff soccer here tonight as your Baltimore Blast take on the Syracuse Silver Knights. We're going to need you guys, each and every one of you, to be the seventh man tonight. Help me out as we find our way towards the MISL Championship. But first things first, we've got to beat Syracuse here tonight. And right now, we're getting set for our Parade of Champions. We'd like to celebrate a number of young people who have achieved great success in their own respective endeavors as they take to the field for our Parade of Champions. Here comes the group from Great Charles Soccer. And now the gang from MUFC. Parade of Champions brought to you by Metro PCS, Pizza Bowlings, Sports Authority, and Factory Direct Uniforms are all proud sponsors of our Parade of Champions. It's a small one tonight, but these guys deserve a nice round of applause. Our Parade of Champions here tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind you, should the Blast win this semifinal playoff series, the MISL Championship game will come here to the arena on Sunday. That's March the 16th. Game time is 5:05. So should the Blast win tonight, and we know they're going to try to win tonight, they will advance to the MISL Championship to take on the Missouri Comets. Game time here Sunday. That'll be game 2 of that series. Game time Sunday will be 5:05. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Baltimore Arena for Game 2 of the semifinal playoff series between the visiting Syracuse Silver Knights and your Baltimore Blast. Ladies and gentlemen, this time, please welcome to the playing field the visiting Syracuse Silver Knights. Midfielder, number 3, Antonio Manfoot. Defender, number 5, Domenico Vitale. Forward, number 7, L.J. Papalejo. Midfielder, number 8, Neto. Midfielder, number 9, Vittorio Petrera. Starting on defense, number 11, Nelson Santana. Starting on defense.
And live from the Baltimore Arena, Blast semifinal action in the MISL playoffs is back on the air. How you again, everybody? Gary Stein and Paul Mittermeier, your Blast broadcasters. Tonight, Game 2 between the Blast and the Syracuse Silver Knights for the right to play Missouri in the MISL finals. The Blast lead at 1-0, Paul, and really a type of game in Game 1 that we haven't seen between these two teams all year. The Blast all the way in that game, 20-7.
And they really got out early, and I think it was, obviously some nerves for Syracuse. Michelle Millwood, the only player that had playoff experience, and mistake early. Neto, no surprise that Neto jumps right into the fray. The veteran that he is, gets the Blast on the board, also has a big assist early on in the game. And the Blast were able to kind of jump out early on top of Syracuse, take advantage of their inexperience, and then kind of keep them at arm's length for the rest of the game with the way they play defense. So that's how things played out up there. We'll see if Syracuse has an answer down here and if they can play a little bit better here in Baltimore tonight.
How much do you think, because now those players who didn't have playoff experience under their belt, they got their first playoff game underway last time out against the Blast. In such a quick turnaround situation, how much experience can you possibly get from that one game, and do they have enough of that to get out here tonight?
It's a matter of doing it. We've always talked about this. You can talk about what it's like to do something until you actually experience it and do it and learn it. That's the key. And I think having that game it's big. It's important. And I think, I'm talking to Danny Kelly before the game for the Blast. He's expecting a great game here tonight. He's expecting these guys to come out and really give his guys a tough effort tonight. And we'll see. And to answer your question, I think it's a big deal to get that one game. And it does make a difference to get that one game, to experience what that atmosphere is like. Anybody that watched the game last night in Milwaukee and saw Game 3 and just the intensity level rise tenfold in that 15 minutes. Until you experience that, you don't know what it is. So to have that is huge.
All right, matchups here tonight. Let's talk about the goalkeepers first. William Vanzella, first team All-MISL this year. Just a tremendous year, a record-breaking year. Really the backbone of that Blast defense. And Brian O'Quinn has had a tremendous year for Syracuse as well.
Yeah, no question. We'll see William maybe a little bit of an issue with an injury. He was kind of a game-time decision. We'll see if he goes for the Blast tonight. If not, Troy Hernandez will definitely be in between the pipes. And you're right. O'Quinn made some big saves in Syracuse that kept that game the way it was.
All right, it's the Blast and the Syracuse Silver Knights, Game 2. Blast lead the series 1-0. We'll see if Syracuse can come up and win this Game 2 here tonight.
number 0, William Van Selva. Forward, number 4, Diego Zuniga. Forward, number 8, Lucas Roque. Defender, number 9, Pat Healy. Starting it forward, number 11, Tony Donatelli. Forward, number 12, Adriano Dos Santos. Midfielder, number 13, Lucio Gonzaga. Defender, number 14, Stephen Daru. Starting it forward this evening, number 15, Adalto Neto. Starting at midfield this evening, number 16, Max Ferdinand. Midfielder, number 19, Marco Mangione. Defender, number 20, Mike Diesel. Starting on defense, number 21, J.T. Noor. Goalkeeper, number 22, Troy Hernandez. Starting on defense, and your Blast captain, number 24, Mark Lockinglad. And now your Blast coaches, assistant coach of your Baltimore Blast, David Vasco. And the head coach of your Baltimore Blast, Danny Kelly. There they are, Blast fans, your 2013-2014 Baltimore Blast. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we direct your attention to the midfield area. We ask you to please rise and remove your hats for the singing of God Bless America by tonight's very special guest. Please welcome the Franklin High School Chamber Singers. The Franklin High School Chamber Singers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain standing as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by Flashpoint.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, Flash
And back at you here from the Baltimore Arena, downtown Baltimore. Beautiful day today. Temperatures in the 60s. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. But tonight we've got indoor soccer, Game 2 of the MISL semifinals. The Missouri Comets are already in. They beat Milwaukee last night, losing Game 2 in Milwaukee 12-9, but winning the Golden Goal Game 3 in the 15-minute period 6-2. Brian Harris a couple of goals in that game. Tonight, the Blast and the Silver Knights. Blast lead 1-0 in this series. Let's take a look at our starting lineups.
You see it, Gary, up front, Tony Donatelli, Dotto Neto, and Max Ferdinand in the midfield, JT Nude, and Mike Lookingland on the back line. Mike Lookingland, most likely the defensive player of the year. That'll be announced coming up in a couple of days. And, of course,
that'll be 3 years in a row.
And 3 years in a row. As we heard and as we saw in introductions, William Van Zella in goal for the Blast. Troy Hernandez is dressed, and really the sad part about that is the odd man out, Levi Wapu, who's dealing with a little bit of an injury. His spot gets taken by Troy Hernandez because you just can't go and risk not having that second keeper. Keys to the game: defend Forbes, Millwood, and Ubi Parapovic. Those are the guys that can hurt you. Dictate the tempo. We've seen that for the Blast all year long. Part of the reason why they're the best defensive team in the league is the fact they possess the ball so much, execute on free kicks and power plays. And Gary, when you look at the Milwaukee Wave last night, I was just surprised in that series against Missouri how ineffective they were on restarts and set pieces. I think that's part of the reason why they're not advancing to the finals. And it's important, as we always talk about. How many times have we talked about this year? Those crucial goals, late period, early next period, where you get that restart, somebody makes a mistake, kicks it out of play in their own end, and all of a sudden you get that restart, top of the arc, bang, get a goal, and it kind of turns the momentum around. So those are big.
Starters for the Syracuse Silver Knights will be in all black tonight, by the way. Black shirts, black pants. Blast will be in the familiar orange and gold uniforms. Starters for Syracuse include Ubi Parapovic, Canardo Forbes, who had a terrific year this year, leads them in scoring with 67. Michelle Millwood, number 2 in scoring with 58, former Blast player, won 4 championships here. Bo Yelovac and Nelson Santana, one of the better defenders in the league. Brian O'Quinn in goal tonight for Syracuse. He on the year is 11-5, 22-27 in his career. William Van Zella does get to start for Baltimore tonight in goal, 12-3 on the year. He's the odds-on favorite for goalkeeper of the year. He's 28-8 in his career. He's 5-0 in the playoffs for the Baltimore Blast. And if you had to point at one single player to join this team, and with Segu retiring a couple years ago, it was the stability that William Van Zella provides for the Blast in goal that have helped them get to where they are today.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, Segu was a beast in between the pipes, and you got to wonder how you're going to replace this guy who's been such a steadying force. And for William Van Zella to step in right after as a rookie and just pick up without missing a beat, it's pretty unbelievable.
And the irony of the situation, Paul, and you probably read this in the Sun this morning, the Baltimore Sun Online, it was with an assist from Syracuse that he came to Baltimore in the first place because they were set at goal a couple of years ago when he was looking to come to America to play. And Andre Berenson, who is a former MISL player in his own right, suggested that he look up with Baltimore, and he certainly did that. So we're underway, obviously. Brian O'Quinn makes the play inside the box and distributes. The teams have changed lines. We'll get the lineup for you in a moment. Gonzaga now out there for Baltimore, along with Adriano DeSantos, and he's in the corner right now for the Blast.
I think, Gary, the first few minutes of this game important for Syracuse. I don't think they can afford to get behind. I think if the Blast fall behind, they could be okay with the experienced players. But Syracuse ill afford to give the Blast a couple of goals early on.
Blast did jump out early in the game the other night in Syracuse at the On Center. Dotto Neto scored the first goal. Blast took a quick 4-0 lead in that game. The closest that Syracuse would end up getting would be 14-7 on a restart goal by Santana in the third quarter, but the Blast scored the last 6 points to win the game 20-7.
Quinn almost made a mistake there. He almost picked the ball up outside the box at the last second, realized it, and avoided a big mistake.
Blast have Daru now in the midfield circle. Tries to dump it into the corner for DeSantos. Picked off, though, by the defense. Nate Bordeaux and Canardo Forbes. Blast, though, take it away. Here's Daru now again for the Blast. It's ironic. Daru had 1 goal all season long. Scored a big goal the other night against Syracuse in the playoffs. Play now in the midfield for the Blast. That's Mike Lookingland, had a tremendous year this year. 56 points, 33 blocks. Third straight year where he's had what we call a 30-30 season. That's 30 points and 30 blocks or better. So 3 consecutive for Lookingland, and he is the odds-on favorite to win his 3rd consecutive Defender of the Year. Nice defense here by Bordeaux. Roquet comes over for the blast.
Nice follow-up by Roquet to keep the blast in possession.
And that's the key for the blast. Off the boards on a run by Lucio, held in by Lookingland now at the yellow line for the blast. Here's DeRue. Defended by Toby, who makes a play, but Diego Zuniga, who checks in, keeps it alive for Baltimore. Hey, Blast fans, free business phones, that's right, free business phones. Netacom provides business phones free with every phone line and internet plan. Call 888-NETACOM to sign up.
Nice defense by Syracuse to take it away. Now they'll have a chance to possess, as they almost had a bad rotation, but did a nice job recovering and making the right play defensively. Now play off from Syracuse out of play over the glass, so goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella.
Vanzella's got Pat Healy out there, distributes to him. The Blast scored 20 goals against Syracuse during the regular season, Paul. 11 of the 20, Healy and Lookingland, the top 2 defenders for the Blast, had a hand in those goals.
We talked about Mike's assists, and obviously they're way up this year. And also, though, the fact I think the best year he's had,
Neto with a flip.
Best year he's had in being able to finish and put balls into the back of the net.
Neto working. We've got 2 Netos tonight. Adalto Neto for the Blast. Neto for Syracuse, former Rookie of the Year. And Adalto Neto, former MISL Player of the Year. Back in 2006, that was the year the Blast beat St. Louis for the championship.
Nice job by Millwood to take it away, but then again, a nice step in by Donatelli. The Blast have it again.
In case you're a Blast fan but have been uninitiated this year, that's Millwood playing for Syracuse, not the Blast. Nice cut in there by the Blast defense at the yellow line. That'll get possession for Baltimore on the distribution by O'Quinn. Brian O'Quinn had the best year of his career, coming off an ACL injury, which shortened last year for him, was 11-5 for Syracuse. And that's a
foul called,
little bit of a foul there.
Dos Santos. Not really sure what that foul was. Well, Adriano did a nice job of using his body to screen the defender. He clearly had the position.
Free kick for Santana. Blast fans, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is committed to the health of our community, especially the health of our children. That's why Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is proud to sponsor Saves for Kids with the Baltimore Blast. For every save made by a Blast goaltender this season, Care First will donate $20 to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Chesapeake. The goal is to reach $20,000 by the end of the year. Thank you to Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield for the Saves for Kids program.
That's 2 fouls now. Dos Santos gets whistled again, so with just 5 minutes gone here, Dos Santos in early foul trouble.
Again, 4, and that's a 2-minute penalty on your team, the blue card. Blast fans, MedStar Sports Medicine is the official medical team of the Baltimore Blast. For an appointment with Team Dr. Richard Levine, call 888-44-SPORT. That's MedStar Sports Medicine at 888-44-SPORT. Also, Blast fans, you're here and you're having a great time. Let your friends know by liking the Baltimore Blast and checking in on Facebook.
There is a Silver Knight shaken up on the play.
Give us a chance. First Mariner Bank. Bank when it's convenient for you with free online banking and free mobile banking from First Mariner. It's like adding a 25th hour to your day, courtesy of First Mariner Bank. Also, at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, we're cooking up great food, great fun, just like Mama makes it. We've got something for everyone, from seafood to ribs, steaks, and more. You're sure to go home happy from Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Also, Maryland Eye Care, covering all your eye care needs, from contact lenses to cataract surgery. Maryland Eye Care, we've got you in our sights.
And Antonio Manfoot is the injured player for Syracuse, so he'll come off the field.
Native of Cleveland, Ohio, graduated from the same high school, by the way, that LeBron James graduated from, St. Vincent's High School. And we should mention, head coach for Syracuse, Tommy Tanner, longtime player for the old Cleveland Crunch back in the NPSL days. Free kick for the Silver Knights here. Santana from the back. Nice chip into the corner. Pass intended for Neto, picked up by Looking Land. Now the Blast going to try to come away with it. Nice wheels here from DeSantos on a run, and he's spilled in the corner.
Well, that should probably be 2 minutes, but they're going to just call it a
foul. Foul on Neto.
That was a 2-on-1 situation where Neto took the pins out from under Dos Santos.
Blast picked up a lot of real estate, though, in that exchange, as they have it now inside the Syracuse third with 9:36 left to go in the first period. No score. Blast lead the series 1-0-0. Should Syracuse prevail in Game 2, there will be a 15-minute mini-game, Game 3, to decide it tonight, just like last night in Milwaukee where the Comets prevailed over the Wave. Looking Land off the boards and right through the legs of Mangione. Well placed by Looking Land.
I think he let it go purposely, but it never made it through to Dos Santos.
Now DeSantos outside the arc. Nice little touch over to Mangione. Blast do that so well, Paul. They maintain possession even in tight quarters.
Well, you see their changes. They're so deep as a team. You really very rarely see guys out there for long periods of time. So they are consistently moving. And even when they lose possession of a ball, they continue to fight and scrap and keep their legs moving so that they always usually win it back.
Here's Zuniga inside the box, made the all-rookie team. Nice ball here. Score with the left. Roque has scored again in the playoffs for the Blast, and they lead it 2-0 early on.
That's just a win, a one-on-one win by Zuniga. He sets up, I believe it was JT Noon, who makes the extra pass to Roque on the wing. O'Quinn can't get out quick enough to cut the angle down because of the slick pass by Noon, and the Blast able to score.
And the time of the goal is 6:02 of the first for Roque. Here we go.
Let's see it again. And again, it was Noon that made that extra touch, Gary, and able to put it into the back of that. Zuniga with the target there, nice win, and then a nice feed by JT Noon.
Oh, what a finish there by Roque. We'll get you the numbers in a moment with a timeout on the field. 2-0 Blast midway through the first. Back to the action here at the Baltimore Arena. Blast lead at 2-0, fending off a Syracuse run off the kickoff. Blast now in control.
Gary, we talk about the unselfish play of the Blast. That target play by Zuniga, he gets a nice feed over to Noon. And JT could have shot the ball with O'Quinn coming out to cut the angle, but instead he makes a nice slick pass to the corner for Roque, gets the assist instead, and O'Quinn had no chance to get over there.
The time of that goal, by the way, was 6:02. Lucas Roque playing in his 6th career playoff game tonight, Paul. 9 goals in 6 career playoff games, including the game winner in the championships last year against the Comets. Here's a turnover now for the Blast. Ferdinand, good cut. Nice defense coming back. Denying Donatelli was Darren Toby, or it would have been 4-0 Blast.
Again, a nice unselfish play. Ferdinand knew he didn't have a chance, but he knew if he could slide it over to Donatelli, he'd have an open net. Unfortunately for the Blast, great defensive play by Syracuse.
Darren Toby, a very unsung player for the Syracuse Silver Knights. 67 career games in 3 years. A steal for Forbes, who's got some wheels in midfield. And now Millwood will feed Forbes in the corner, picked up by DeRue. And DeRue wins that battle for the Blast, at least momentarily.
Now, Forbes, not only a good scorer, but a very physical player. And you saw that there with his battle with DeRue.
Blast Soccer brought to you by Metro PCS with no annual contract and blazing fast 4G speed on a nationwide 4G network. Metro PCS is the wireless company that gives you everything you want. Unlimited data, talk, and text for a low monthly rate. Blast Soccer also brought to you by Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. Chesapeake Employers helps keep workplaces safe because at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return. Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Well, that last play, the ball just hit a dead spot up against the wall, and Van Zala waiting for the carom and actually almost splatted down and then rolled into the back of the net.
Blast now with 6.5 minutes to play in the first. The defending MISL champions, Blast have won 6 MISL championships in their last 11 years. Looking for number 7 this season. Blast have made 8 appearances in the MISL championship in the last 11 years. Here's Ferdinand. O'Quinn tried to make a play on it. Defense cuts over. Ball is still alive. Here's a double team by the Blast in the corner. It squirts out, but a foul called on Zuniga, as hitting the turf was Neto.
That was a great ball off the boards. A lot of times you'll see guys just play the ball off the boards way too hard, and it doesn't lead to anything good. That time that was nice pace, and it forced Syracuse into a tough decision between goalkeeper and defender, and although Syracuse played it nicely defensively.
Santana delivers up ahead, the 35-year-old out of Santa Clara, California.
First mistake by the Blast is that goes out of play. That should be top of the arc.
Wow, they're putting it corner there by the yellow line.
And they make the correct call, yeah.
Yep.
Nice job of the officials to get together there and make the correct call.
Wait a minute, did you say nice job in the officials in the same breath?
Hey, if they do a good job, they get credit for it.
Mark Bailey puts it down for Syracuse. Here they come on the restart. Santana will trigger. He's got Millwood on his flank to the right. Santana towards the goal, still in play over the bar. Millwood will run it back towards the scorer's table. Michelle played 10 years here in Baltimore.
Another one of the keys to the Blast victory on Friday night was the ability to limit Millwood.
Look at this. A pick by Healy off the boards. Oh, great play by O'Quinn.
That's a great job to get an arm on that, or that's into the back of the net for the Blast.
Diesel was right on it for the Blast. Here comes Corey Alenio for Syracuse on a run. Broken up by Baltimore with 5:18 left in the first. Blast lead at 2-0 here early. Max Ferdinand, the 4th leading scorer in the MISL over the last 5 years. We'll give you the list in a moment. Neto is on that list from the Blast as well. And there's Mangione on a back heel. The rebound, and it's over the bar by Lucio.
Well, we've seen that play a couple of times lately for the Blast.
Yeah.
As teams start to fan out their defenders to play the wings. And, you know, this is something we don't talk a lot about with the Blast, but spacing is so crucial in sports. And the Blast do such a good job of that, of spacing, that as they start to fan their guys out to cover the wings, that opens up the middle. And we saw that there, and we saw that in the last home game the Blast played, where I think it was Wapu that got an opportunity in the middle because he was unmarked.
And here's a score for Syracuse off the sidebar and in. And the Silver Knights have tied it at 2. And I think it's Bordeaux that gets it. We'll have to see the replay. No, looks like Manfoot maybe. Gets the goal for the Silver Knights, and we are tied.
And that quiets the crowd. Here's the Metro PCS replay.
It is Bordeaux.
Bordeaux, yep. Right from the top of the arc there.
As he bends it just inside the post, actually hit the post and in. 2-2 the score, and for Bordeaux, who had 13 goals this year, that's his first here tonight. Time of the goal, 10. Well, it's hard to see. 10:21. Tied at 2. Ferdinand on the ball for the Blast. Hey, Blast fans, don't forget to build your body with Brick. Check them out online at brickbodies.com. Also, you're at home with Hirschfeld, the official apartment communities of your Baltimore Blast. Find your new home today at hirschfeldhomes.com. Hunt Valley Motor Coach, your official transportation service for your Baltimore Blast. Please contact Hunt Valley Motor Coach for all your transportation needs at 800-924-1359 and ask for the Blast discount. Merit Properties is a full-service real estate firm committed to creating homes for businesses since 1967. Contact Merit Properties today at 410-298-2600 or visit them online at meritproperties.com. And Blast fans, don't forget to get your score, stats, news, and more exclusively at MISL.com.
Well, Gary, that's a big goal for Syracuse, as the Blast were kind of having their way with the Silver Knights getting good opportunities, and all of a sudden you get a goal like that, it can totally change your momentum.
Tied at 2. Let's see if the Silver Knights can build on that. DeRue with the drive, and that one skips over the glass. It'll be a goalkeeper distribution for O'Quinn. Talked about Max Ferdinand being the 4th leading scorer over the last 5 years in the MISL. Here's the list. Alvarez from Missouri, and he's no longer with them, leads the way with 277. Millwood for Syracuse, 270. Gibson from Missouri, 244. Ferdinand, 242. Bennett from Milwaukee, 226. Neto for the Blast, 225. And then Salas and Asaipour round out the top 8 scorers over the last 5 years in the MISL.
And what a goal Vahid had last night in the third game, really a 4-2 game, and Vahid really put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that was, it wasn't the game winner, but it certainly was the
demoralizing
goal. Yeah, 6-2 the final.
Yeah, that forced Milwaukee to kind of chase 2 goals.
So now Missouri has turned the tide really on the wave. Last 2 years, beating them in decisive game 3s. Last year was just unbelievable with Alvarez scoring with 4 seconds to go on a restart. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that for a while.
Great block by Chantel there on Lucio, and then
former Blast player.
Turnover by Syracuse.
Chantel, 38 years of age, played with the Blast, the Steamers, and the Cougars, the old California Cougars. Back in the day, now with Syracuse. Drive by Ferdinand, a wicked left, just wide. Held in by Looking Land. Around the turn and right into the hands of the goalkeeper, O'Quinn. 2:20 left to go in the first. Good ball up ahead, but DeRue tracks that nicely, heads it back towards midfield.
How about that 50-50 win by Neto, using his physicality
on Forbes?
And that's a big play there right near the yellow line. If Forbes wins that ball, that's a scoring chance for Syracuse.
DeRue now slowly for the Blast, coming up on 2 minutes here in the first. We're tied at 2. Pat Healy on it for Baltimore, another great year, number 2 in the league in blocks this year.
We talk about those little things. You don't understand until you see the game last night, where Milwaukee almost had a steal at the yellow line on their pressure, and within 2 seconds the ball was in the back of their net on the other end of the floor. That one play changed the whole entire complexity of the game.
That was quite a game last night, the game 2, back and forth. The Comets took a 9-6 lead in the third on a couple back-to-back goals, and then 2 big-time rookies from Milwaukee, Walls and Pereira, really controlled the fourth quarter, and they came back. Jonathan Greenfield, former Blast player, contributed a goal, and they beat them 12-9 in game 2, but then Missouri prevails in game 3. And they'll open up the playoffs at home. The Comets will on Friday night. Blast now inside for DeSantos. Zuniga skips right between a couple players, tries to keep it alive for Baltimore. Less than a minute now to go. Nice save by O'Quinn.
I think Zuniga was looking for a foul there as he split the 2 defenders. Thought he got tripped.
Here's Upi Parapovic, former Rookie of the Year.
That's a mistake, as they rule he was behind the yellow line, so a 3-line violation. It comes all the way back to his own yellow line for a restart with 31.8 left. And here's another one of those situations late in a quarter on a restart situation.
31 seconds and change left in this one. Blast send out Ferdinand along with Zuniga. Looking Land. Noon is out there. And Roque. Looking Land with a left foot, and that is well high and over. O'Quinn with a goalkeeper distribution. O'Quinn on the year, 11-5, 1301 points against, a stellar 775 save percentage. He's 1-6 though career against the Blast. 1-6. 0-1 in the playoffs, and that was the first game the other night. Blast win at 20-7. Chantel will send it back to the keeper. 17 seconds left in the period. Maybe one more try here for the Silver Knights. Steal. Blast with a chance now with 10 seconds to go. Roque with the bicycle. Got a man up ahead. O'Quinn, it's still a chance here for the Blast. And it's over the bar. 2 seconds, 1 second. And some excitement at the end of the period. But we'll end up tied at 2.
Well, that's a great job by the Blast to get us a chance at the end of the quarter to score.
Quarter number 2 coming up after this.
Blast 4. Once again, shots and goal tonight's first quarter. Syracuse 1, the Blast 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We direct your attention to the midfield area. It's time for tonight's First Mariner Dice Roll. And tonight's contestant is...
Vince.
All right, Vince, where are you from?
Aberdeen.
All right, Vince, all you have to do is pick up these die, spell out the word Blast, get 5 of the same letter or 5 logos. If you do either of those 3 things, you're going to go home tonight with a $1,000 CD. Compliments of our friends at First Mariner Bank. You ready to go, Vince?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get behind Vince as he goes in the First Mariner Dice Roll. His first die comes out, and we've got an S. Okay, we need another S or a different letter. A logo is no good right now, Vince. All right, that's an A. We're doing it. Your next die. Throw it up here and spin it, Vince. He's got a T. We're 3/4. Come on, Vince. We need a B or an L. We've got an A. No winner here tonight. Have a nice round of applause for tonight's contestant, Vince. All the way here during the playoff series. Vince goes home tonight with a consolation prize courtesy of your Baltimore Blast. And we'd like to thank First Mariner Bank for sponsoring tonight's Dice Roll.
Back at you here from the arena. Play underway in the second quarter with our score tied at 2. Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier with you. Your Blast broadcasters. Roque for the Blast at 6:02. Bordeaux for Syracuse at 10:21. Andrew Primrose producing tonight.
And you know what, Gary? We talked about those scoring chances for the Blast at the end of the quarter, but if you're Syracuse, exactly what you wanted out of that first quarter, still in the game, tied at 2, working hard, and it was an efficient quarter for the Syracuse Silver Knights. 1 shot on goal. And they got 1 goal.
That's not a great save percentage for Van Zella. Nice play by Forbes, taking it away for Syracuse.
To not bash him too much, that was a pretty good shot by Bordeaux, who hit the post.
Off the post, yeah.
Not a lot Williams going to do with that one.
Kick in for the Blast here. Blast fans, CountySportsZone.com is the #1 source for score, schedules, and standings for all high school sports across Maryland. Visit CountySportsZone.com to find every game every day. Also, borrow smart at MECU, Baltimore's credit union. Go to MECU.com to learn more. That's MECU.com. The Holiday Inn Express Baltimore at the stadiums is the Baltimore Blast sponsor hotel. Book your hotel room on game night by calling 410-727-1818 and ask for the Baltimore Blast family and friends rate. Blast in the midfield. The Diesel will control. The foul was on Yellowbach for Syracuse.
A nice step in by Santana on Neto to win the ball, but he eventually gets written off by the Blast defenders.
In case you're joining us late, the Blast carrying 2 goalkeepers tonight. Vanzella's status was in question prior to the game, so Troy Hernandez is in uniform. That means that Levi Wapu is inactive tonight for the Blast, the rookie out of UMBC. Here is Vanzella for Baltimore. Up ahead now for Noon, who had the assist on the first goal by the Blast. A whistle and a foul on Forbes.
Real physical that time, and finally they blow the whistle after the third or fourth push on Dos Santos.
Adriano with a great year this year, 13 goals and 31 points. He's got 80 points in 70 career regular season games, and that one is over the bar.
Yeah, Lucio tried a little banana as he hit. I think he hit it with the toe that time, and it kind of curved back towards the goal, but it was too high.
Second time for Lucio over the goal. That's 3 times the Blast have hit it over the goal. Twice for Lucio, once for Looking Land. Distribution O'Quinn up ahead for Elenio.
Oh, hit the official there.
Blast Soccer brought to you by ABC2. Here's a very aggressive play by O'Quinn. Blast going to try to convert on that. ABC2, the exclusive home of complete Blast game highlights. ABC2 works for you. Also by Pizza Boli's, the official pizza of the Blast, serving pizza, wings, subs, and more to Baltimore since 1985. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Ooh, just wide. Nice drive there by Neto.
Yeah, well meant.
Oh, Neto with a chance. Oh, look at this save by the defender Noon, who cuts across with Vanzella on the turf.
And Dos Santos, after that, picks up number 3 on a questionable foul call. Well, if this was how the game would have been called last night, in Milwaukee, they would have never finished the game.
Did you see that goal last night by Leo Gibson, the midfield three-pointer?
Yeah, amazing.
With Feenstra just out of position. Good look here by Neto, but Vanzella, his positioning perfect there, right along the boards, makes the play.
With 12 minutes to play, Adriano's got to be pretty smart. You certainly don't want to give Syracuse a power play. They're one of the best power play teams in the league.
In fact, they are the
number
best.
1, right?
Yep, 13 of 28, 46.5%. And all their guys can score on the power play. One touch here, and busting right through for the Blast was Donatelli.
Marked well by 2 Syracuse defenders. Syracuse doing a nice job with the Blast with runners, and they're doing a nice job of being disciplined defensively.
Well, that's the key to beating the Blast. I mean, they played 4 great defensive games during the regular season against the Blast. And as we mentioned in the opener, just Baltimore took advantage of a couple of miscues by the defense for Syracuse in the opener to take an early lead, and then the Blast just have so much playoff depth, so much depth in general. Held in by Looking Land. Daru now for the Blast. Had a goal in that first game. Nice cut. Try just wide. Kept in by Looking Land. Blast again maintained possession. 11:05 left in the half. 2-2 is the score.
Well, that's the little thing, too. Looking Land wasn't going to shoot, but he took a step towards to make it look like it so the defender would have to honor it, and then allowed him to win the ball back and keep possession for the Blast.
Blast fans, tonight's music provided by Music Masters, a proud partner and official DJs of the Blast. Action Business Systems and Toshiba, your marketing solutions provider and a fine Blast sponsor. Also, don't forget to build your body with Brick. Bring your ticket stub to Brick Bodies or Lynn Bricks and receive your first month free when you join. BrickBodies.com.
Again, nice work defensively as Syracuse does a nice job reading the boards and clearing the ball out of their zone.
And again, Looking Land, though, right there for the Blast. We'll send it back. Neto trying to control for Syracuse. Blast fans, you're at home with Hirschfeld, the official apartment communities of your Baltimore Blast. Find your new home today at HirschfeldHomes.com. There's Forbes now, tied up by the Diesel and Mangione along the boards.
It's a disappearing act as the ball has gone under the turf.
Ah, the turf monster got the ball.
See, he does exist.
Right. And he doesn't discriminate. It's not only with players, but the ball, too. So this will be a drop ball, akin to a face-off in hockey. Won by Forbes in the box. Nice play by Vanzella. Lurking around was Toby for the Silver Knights. Still tied at 2. 9:50 left in the half. Here's Looking Land with some turf up ahead. Zuniga out for the blast now. And that one will go just up and over.
Mike was trying to play the boards there. He just got a little too much of it.
Blast fans, rates are at record lows, and Fremont Mortgage is helping Blast fans save big by refinancing and helping them become homeowners. Underwriting and processing are done locally, so don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. See Fremont on the back of Blast jerseys or online at Fremont.com. Fremont's goal is great service. Tune in Sundays for their show, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Zuniga cuts in for the Blast. Healy towards midfield.
You know, the way that Zuniga plays sometimes reminds me of Robbie Aristodemo, who just was all over the place and would follow through, win a ball in the midfield, or you thought for sure that the other team was going to come away with it, but somehow Robbie would get in there and win the ball back.
Oh, man, he was the glue. Elenio fights hard. Ball goes over the boards. It'll be off of Syracuse. Free kick Blast. Talk about all those great teams, the 5 championship teams, and the names that first come out are, the big guns, the Cabrals, the Salenzas, the Wakefields. But it was that glue in the midfield, the Robbie Aristodemos, the Carlos Garcias of the world, who were so versatile that really, made that thing work.
Now, those guys definitely have a factor involved, no question about it.
Here's Zuniga now with the left. Nice ball inside. Fanned on the shot, though. Did Healy. Towards the keeper, O'Quinn easily. Healy in pursuit.
That's a really nice play by O'Quinn. That was not an easy ball.
No.
But O'Quinn made it look easy.
Right. Nonchalanted it, but not in a bad way. Good ball up ahead here for Neto.
Oh.
And again up and over. This one on Lucio. Third time tonight for Lucio.
Now, Lucio's had some good looks, no doubt about it.
Not a lot of good strikes, though, unfortunately. Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company is a proud sponsor of Kids Chance of Maryland. Every year, thousands of Marylanders are disabled by on-the-job injuries. Some, unfortunately, are catastrophically injured or lose their lives. Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company will donate $25 to the Kids Chance Scholarship Fund for every goal scored by the Blast this year. Please visit kidschance-md.org for more information on how you can help or how to apply for scholarship assistance. Also, Mission Barbecue serves traditional American barbecue with a side of patriotism at all its Maryland and York, PA locations. For more information, visit missionbarbecue.com. Get the latest from around the league and follow MISL Soccer on Twitter. Also, fans, come to Pratt Street Ale House tonight after the game for a post-game party. Meet your favorite players and cheerleaders while enjoying food and drink specials just for Blast fans.
Another drop ball here again. Neto gets called for kicking. I think it's that same area where the rug came up before the carpet.
Mm-hmm. Roque on the header up ahead. Ball is won by Syracuse. Here's Neto, handball call on Syracuse's Neto. Quick restart here for the Blast.
That's 2 quick fouls on Neto.
Donatelli leaves one inside the box. A chance now for Ferdinand, but they get back as O'Quinn went from post to post and made the play.
Too much traffic there for Max to finish that. All kind of hands or legs, goaltender arms, everything there.
Here's Lucio trying to one-touch it up ahead, and not enough on the Roque touch. Saved by O'Quinn. 7 minutes left in the half. Still tied at 2. Looking Land will step inside, force a turnover, and they turn it right back. Here's Ubi Parapovic for the Silver Knights.
The last play by Roque. Vitale, just enough of harassment there on Roque to force him into a tough play.
Here's Papaleo off the boards. Vanzella makes the play in front of Elenio. LJ Papaleo is the son of Joe Papaleo, one of the assistant coaches for Tommy Tanner here. LJ, a Syracuse grad. His dad, Joe, one of the most decorated soccer players ever in the history of the Syracuse University program. All-time leader in goalkeeper wins and shutouts. Foul called on Syracuse inside the box. This one will be on Manfoot. Free kick blast here now with 8 minutes plus, 8:18 left in the first half of a 2-2 game. Mark Bailey talking to Van Zella.
What's he talking to Van Zella about? Clearly that ball was in his box. He had every right to go for it. And I'm surprised he didn't take more exception.
Neto picked up by Santana. Great matchup there. Nice feed inside. Pass was intended for Roque. Correction for Noon.
Great ball.
Here's a ball. Neto couldn't convert there for the blast.
Nice job by Santana's done a nice job on Neto this entire first half. And that time, Neto just got the ball a little bit too far out in front of him, and Santana was able to recover.
Goalkeeper distribution again for O'Quinn, but not before a timeout on the floor. We'll take 1-2 with 5:36 left to go in the half. We're tied at 2. First half here at the Baltimore Arena. Blasting the Syracuse Silver Knights. Good pressure here by the Blast. Roque. They finally do send it up ahead for Millwood. Picked up by Looking Land. Inside the yellow line. The return to Millwood, and Van Zella comes out and messes that up.
It's good help by the keeper. Good read there.
Forbes keeps it in for Syracuse. Here's the matchup, Millwood and Looking Land. Oh, look at Noon coming over. Ooh, hits the official. Most that one would have gone a ways. Finally, Ferdinand does clear it. Chantel will retreat.
And, you talk about it. It's Looking Land, Millwood, and then on the other end, it's been Santana and Neto.
Yes. Oh, here's a ball up ahead for Lucio. 4:40 now to play. Neto will carry for the Blast. They've got Neto, Zuniga, Lucio, Noon, and Looking Land.
Well, here's a defensive breakdown, but the Blast make a sloppy pass. Zuniga was wide open, and Lucio couldn't find him.
Back to Noon in the midfield. Lucio towards goal. Almost bounced off one of the Silver Knights, well meant.
It did, and then O'Quinn did a nice job at the redirection of being able to get the leg out to make the save.
Forbes and Noon.
Would have been a three-pointer if that would have went.
Nice play by Looking Land to cut off Ubi Parapovic. Allow Van Zella some space to make the play. Neto trying to work the turn. Lenio, well done there by the Silver Knights. Very impressed with their defensive commitment here tonight.
And they really have dug in, and it's been a consistent thing. It hasn't been something that's coming on. They've done it well all game.
Bordeaux, the goal scorer, sends it off to Santana. Lenio was trying to go off, I believe, and commits a silly foul here in the midfield.
It's a silly. You called it a silly foul, but the problem there was if Neto could have turned and Lenio up pinching, that was a 2-1-1 for the Blast if he could have made that pass. So that's a good foul.
3:14 left to play in the half. Still tied at 2 here. Last goal was scored at 10:21 of the first, so we're going on almost 20 minutes now. Scoreless soccer here in the first half. Okay, met up with Santana. Off the boards in the box. Oh, look at O'Quinn. Stealing one from Ferdinand.
Off the volley, or the half volley, Ferdinand's object was to get it on goal. He did that, and O'Quinn came sliding across and made the play. .220 now to play. Santana, nice look. Finding his man Bordeaux, midfield. Again, that's another nice job by the Blast using the boards. It's the one X factor in the indoor game. You can play all the great defense you want. If you utilize the boards well, you can get scoring chances regardless.
Vanzello waiting to the last possible minute before Ubi Parapovic comes along. Quickly up ahead, Mangione's got a man. That's Daru. One pass blocked out in front by Chantel. Shot taken by Neto.
Maybe a little too unselfish that time by Daru. His pass, he had the keeper one-on-one, but his pass allowed the Syracuse defense to recover.
1:45 left to go, clock running. Another great defensive play there by the Silver Knights. Now the clock stops at 1:35.
That's a 7-8 second runoff.
I just don't understand that.
Who was paying attention, huh?
Well, you and I. Here's Mangione now as Millwood was double-teamed. Mark Oak, nice ball for Neto. A little too far maybe. Let's see, Santana. Neto not giving up, as he never does, and the Blast will win it back. Daru, nice cut. Coming up on the 1 minute mark now. Drew having trouble keeping his feet. Millwood will try to control.
Oh, nice play there by Millwood. Here's a good chance for Syracuse.
Millwood between a couple of Blast defenders. Here's the runner, Chantel. They both played for the Blast in their rookie seasons back in 04-05 together. Chantel, a native of Brazil, and Millwood from Trinidad.
Crucial time here, 40 seconds left in the quarter. These are the kind of situations that change games.
You talk about that, you know, at the 14:59 mark of the first half in that regular season finale, it was, I don't know if it was the finale or not, but it was a Donatelli goal that changed the course of that game. Here's Zuniga carrying with O'Quinn coming out, making a sliding tackle. 11 seconds to go. Ball still in play. Now a chance. The Blast again. Broken up by the defense in front of O'Quinn.
O'Quinn was beaten that time, and the Blast, or the Syracuse defenders, able to make the play.
And that's it. That's the end of the first half, with the score tied at 2 apiece here. Okay for the Blast, Bordeaux for Syracuse. Third quarter coming up after this.
Did you know that dancing can do wonders for your health? It's been proven to reduce stress, strengthen your heart and lungs, and actually improve bone density. Tests show it can even improve brain activity. At Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, we give you even more to dance about. more choices, more experience, more doctors. So if you know what's good for you, keep dancing. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. More to feel good about.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company, formerly IWIF. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for nearly 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Hi, this is Kevin Healy, president of your Baltimore Blast.
And I'm Steve Perutka of the law firm of Perutka and Perutka.
I've known Steve and Michael Perutka since our days together playing for the Greyhounds. For over 30 years, they have ethically and efficiently practiced law here in the great state of Maryland. They've helped thousands of Marylanders, and they can help you. So when you need legal assistance, see my good friends Steve and Michael Perutka.
Thanks, Kevin. Two great teams, the Baltimore Blast and the law firm of Perutka and Perutka.
Syracuse 1 for a halftime total of 2, and the Blast 6 for a halftime total of 10. Once again, shots on goal in tonight's second quarter. Syracuse 1 for a halftime total of 2, and the Blast 6 for a halftime total of 10. Fans, right now we direct your attention to the midfield area for your halftime entertainment. We'd like to welcome Premier taking on MUFC in an exhibition match.
Understand, understood, I'm a hope, yeah, moving, shaker, culture.
Premier taking on MUFC. Premier ahead 1-0. Blast fans, the Blast would like to welcome the following groups in attendance here this evening. They include the Baltimore Bay Soccer Club, Premier Soccer Club on the field right now, along with MUFC, Region 4 Soccer. We'd also like to welcome Flashpoint, Franklin High School Chamber Singers, South Baltimore Network, Arsenal and Liverpool supporters groups, the Craig Willinger Fund, First Mariner Bank employees, all our Blast summer campers. We'd also like to welcome Living Social, Cedarmere Elementary, our Blast corporate partners, the Bonzudo Group, and Tim Catroco and friends. We'd also like to wish a very happy birthday